Okay, so I think we can begin, and anybody else joins, they will be able to jump in from where they start. So welcome to everybody. Thank you for joining us here at this webinar on the EIT-labeled RaMES Master's Program. So if you were expecting something else, you're not in the right place. My name is Ferdy Bulmer, and I'm Higher Education Manager at EIT Raw Materials, and I'm joined here by my colleague Shushanik, also from EIT Raw Materials, and Paolo, who leads the RaMES program, and two graduating RaMES students, Alessia and Nikita. So we're here today to give you a little bit of information about the program and hopefully answer any questions you might have. So before we get into details about the RaMES program, I'm going to give you a little introduction into the EIT label, because RaMES, of course, is an EIT labeled master's program. This is a fairly unique attribute and a unique thing. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the EIT label is all about and what this means for your experience when you study on the RaMES program. So Shushanik, maybe you can move the presentation forward. Good. So what is the EIT label? Well, the EIT label is awarded by the EIT. EIT is the European Institute of Innovation and Technology. It's a body of the European Union. So, hello, yeah, it's a European Union funded body. Maybe if anybody's got their microphone unmuted, they could mute themselves. And it exists to boost innovation and entrepreneurship in Europe, or specifically to empower innovators and entrepreneurs to develop innovative global solutions to global challenges and create growth and jobs for Europe. Okay, so how do we do this? The EIT brings together what we call the knowledge triangle. So we bring together business, so companies from different sectors, together with education, so universities all across Europe, and research institutes and research organizations which are on the cutting edge of knowledge development. So by bringing together business, education, and research, the EIT then aims to reach its goals of boosting entrepreneurship and innovation in Europe. Next slide, please. How do we do this in practice, and what areas does the EIT cover? We have 8 innovation communities covering a wide range of areas and all the major societal challenges that we have. So we have climate, KIC, digital, EIT food, health, energy, EIT manufacturing, urban mobility, and the one that we are talking about today, EIT Raw Materials. So EIT Raw Materials mission is to develop raw materials into a major strength for Europe. And one of the ways that we do this, important ways that we do this, is through our education programs. You will see here the innovation themes that we cover in relation to raw materials. So everything from exploration through to mining, processing, recycling, substitution, and the one thing tying it all together, circular economy. And of course, students who are studying on EIT Raw Materials programs gain an understanding of the full raw materials value chain whilst focusing on one specific area. EIT Raw Materials itself consists of over 300 partners, again, from universities, from business or companies, and from research organizations all across Europe. And we have local offices all across Europe and a good reach through the entire raw materials sector around Europe. So the key point is that we will connect all of our community with business, with research, and with education all across the continent. Next slide. Thank you. So finally, getting to the point, what is the EIT label? So the EIT label is awarded by the EIT to master's programs which meet a number of very specific requirements. So master's programs with the EIT label need to have a really excellent level of training in innovation and entrepreneurship, besides the technical studies that you would undertake during the program. And I'm sure my colleagues here will tell you a little bit about the context of this in terms of RaMES. Secondly, all EIT-labeled programs are international programs. That means you will study in more than one country, you will study in English, and you will have the opportunity to meet students and staff and indeed people from other areas of the sector, from different countries, from all
Ferdi froze.
Yes, I assume so. Okay. Do we want to continue with RaMES program until he gets back? I can stop sharing, and then Paolo, you can take over.
Ferdi's back.
Okay, he's back. Great.
My apologies, everybody. I have a rather poor internet connection here. So if you carry on to the next slide, I'll tell you exactly what the EIT label opportunities are. So during each semester of an EIT labeled program with the raw materials, you will receive have the opportunity to join some additional activity which will connect you not only with the students on your own program, but all of the EIT labeled master's programs. And at present, we have 6 in the raw materials community. So during your first semester, you will be able to take part in an induction day where EIT Raw Materials will present to you what we're all about and what you can expect over the coming 2 years of your program. And you will also be able to vote for your representative from your program on the Label Student Board. Actually, we have our representative on the Label Student Board with us here today, Nikita. And then secondly, in the second semester, we have what's called the Label Startup. And this is where you have the opportunity to connect with startups from across the raw materials sector, hear about how their entrepreneurial experience brought them to develop their startup, and maybe find opportunities to connect with them, grow your network. And of course, this is your first opportunity to meet students from all of the master's programs. So we're looking around 180 to 200 students across the master's programs, with around 100 normally attending the label startup. Semester 3, at the beginning of semester 3, you'll have the opportunity to join the RACE. This is a 2-week summer school. You'll be traveling across Europe, visiting different industrial hosts to understand different sections of the raw materials value chain. This is an application-only program, so you need to submit a good application to be able to take part. And then finally, during your 4th semester, you'll be able to take part in the label launch. This is a final graduation event for students across the 6 programs, and you will be able to take part in some networking and workshops to help you to find a job, etc. And then after you leave, you will stay connected with the EIT Raw Materials community by becoming a member of EIT Raw Materials alumni. In fact, you can do this from the moment that you join, and this will connect you not only with other students, but also with industry professionals, with startups, and with anybody else who has taken part in an EIT Raw Materials supported activity. So by joining this program, you really become part of the community, the biggest and most important consortium and partnership in raw materials in Europe, and also these additional benefits provided for you with no additional fee to take part in. Okay, so I will now hand over to the RaMES team, who will be able to give you some background to the program, and particularly, I think Nikita will be able to also tell you a little bit about those specific activities that I mentioned, because he's been very involved in those. So thank you very much. And unless anybody has any specific questions about this, what I've just talked about, maybe we can move on, and I'll stay around and you can ask me questions afterwards as well.
Questions?
So,
looks like I can maybe just move to present the main features of RaMES. I prepared a presentation. Maybe I can share my screen. Can I do that? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Please confirm that you can see this.
Yes, we can see this. Can you please maybe choose the presentation mode so that we see this on the whole screen? That would be better.
It should be already in the presentation mode.
Okay, great.
Okay. Good. So my name is Paolo Garofalo. I teach at the University of Bologna, and I'm responsible for the organization of this master program called the Raw Material Exploration and Sustainability, RaMES for short. Now, what is the objective of RaMES? RaMES is a master program that is specifically thought for geologists and also for engineers to gain some knowledge on the raw material value chain, but from a perspective of a geologist. So having a look at the raw materials as geological objects, at the geological exploration, at the geochemical processes that deal with the ore deposits in general, primary and secondary raw materials, and also on the entrepreneurial and economical aspects that deal with them. The master course lasts 2 years. It's 120 credits long, and it's taught in English. As is mentioned before, we received the EIT-Label, so this certification from the European Institute of Technology, and therefore we are part of the family that Ferdinand was mentioning before. This is the structure, how it is done. We said that it's an international scheme and it's 120 credits long, and this is how it's run. A large part of the program is taught in Bologna, in Italy, and a semester is taught in Trondheim, Norway. And then we have a relatively long thesis linked with the internship program. So it's a sort of like a bilateral long way program in which students travel from Italy to Norway and deal also with the thesis in tandem with industry. We run this international mobility scheme using the Erasmus Plus mobility program. Now, regarding the structure, the didactic plan here, which is visible in this webpage, I strongly suggest you to go and download the syllabi of each course of this. It's here summarized with this colored scheme. In the green, you have all the activities that are run in Bologna, and in red, all the activities that are run the semester, essentially, that is run in Norway. And then at the end, in the last term, we have the internships and the final examination, as well as the final course on geophysical exploration, which is run also in Bologna. Here, just by the names of these courses, I'm not going to get too much into the details of all this, but just by the names, you can essentially picture a little trip, a trip along the whole value chain. So from the primary mineral deposits to the mineral science behind it, the petrology, so the study of the processes that deal with the genesis of the rocks. This is especially done for those who are non-geologists and therefore do not have the background on petrology. And then we have a course on how to deal with mineral deposits in the field, just with a structural geologists, with a group of structural geologists who are specialized on that. And then we have the geochemistry that deals with the mineral deposits, and the political economy, so the economical and the entrepreneurial aspects of raw materials that are dealt by these two courses: political economy of industry and development, mineral resource economics and management. Then in Norway, there is this last part of our track that deals with more engineering type of courses. Material flow analysis deals with the really circular economy, geometallurgy with metal extraction, so the processes of metal extraction from the primary deposits. And then we have a course on waste technology and resource recovery. We have these elective courses, which are sort of a limited choice for the students, because of course this long path of courses that link together all the value chain doesn't leave much space for elective courses. But students have a chance for having a course in picking an elective course in Bologna or in Norway, in order to have like a full semester or only a partial semester in Norway. And then we have geophysical exploration as a part of the exploration techniques that are used for for the exploration of primary resources. These are our partners. The core partners, of course, the industry partners are those listed here and at the bottom, and our institutional partners are this one. Here we are trying to actually set up in the future some kind of a joint degree, but this is still I would say not active at the moment. And this is just to show you that we are trying to develop a whole dynamic family of companies and institutions that deal with raw materials in the broad sense, from institutions, regional institutions, research institutions, to actual industry, Italian industry, and even companies that are acting on a global scale, like the companies from China, Geotech Limited here, that is appearing in this list. Now, about the non-academic dimension, students receive a non-academic support during internship and thesis, and the industry itself is involved in the development of the didactic plan. We try to get feedbacks from them, especially in a dynamic way, and not just from time to time. Especially during the internships. This is the most important moment in which we interact with them. And regarding applications and practical things, this is a list of intakes that we started this year. We started in December, the 13th of December last year with the intakes, and we are still going on. We finished the third intake at the end of June. So we will soon deliver a list of people which have been admitted already during this first selection time. And we will have an intake for European students up to the beginning of September. And then the courses will begin the month after. So the first week of October is more or less the starting of the semester. Sometimes in some years it's the 5th or the 6th or the 7th. It's this kind of time. So for the application, this is the website which you should follow for your application to submit all your papers and documents. It's a very detailed platform in which you can also download information and read in detail what is needed there. So I'm really leaving all the information on the reading of this platform. Here, the essential information is that we accept students having a bachelor degree in earth sciences, geological science, or equivalent degrees, and also students having a bachelor in mine engineering, environmental engineering, or equivalent degrees. Regarding the costs are always a key. And what is our policy here in Bologna? We have a tuition policy which goes together with the family income parameter. This family income parameter is called ISE, and it's calculated. It's a sort of indicator of your economic situation, of your family income, family bulk income, which can be calculated actually if you are non-Italian using a simulator, which is actually within the University of Bologna website. You just click on this link and you can see whether you would be paying a certain level of fees, or if you get to the maximum. This would be the maximum fee that is allowed in RaMES, 4,000 euros per year, but only for those who get no exemptions. In general, low income and well-performing students benefit of fee exemptions in the University of Bologna. Now, regarding the various contacts, we have a student administration office for Italian students. We have an international student administration office, and please take note of these emails. And I'm the head of the program, so you can also email me regarding all the cultural contents of specific things that you can ask. And we have also a telephone number, which it's especially for Italians, but I guess I would expect that at least Europeans, European people can call at least because of the different of the time shift that there would be in Europe. Now, regarding the link of the program, here you get in this link you get all the bulk information that is needed for getting either downloading the brochures or all the information, or just for application. I think this is all, and now I'm open to any question that might be coming.
Hello. Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
I have Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering.
Mechanical engineering.
Yes.
So your question is whether you would be admitted as a mechanical engineer.
Yes.
You see, the problem with this kind of engineering degrees is that you lack the background on the geological knowledge that would be given in a classic engineering course on environment or mining. That's why I was quite specific about these two types of degrees, because these are the ones for which we are sure that students get a background in geology. As a mechanical engineer, you really don't know rocks as objects, as objects coming from natural processes, and therefore you just miss the fundamental information on minerals, rock formation. So I would be happy about mechanical engineers doing programming or their knowledge in physics, mathematics. However, the geological part is kind of weak. So this is what makes difficult accepting mechanical engineers.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Peter from Hungary. Can I have a question?
Yes, please.
So I am a geologist from Hungary, and I have 8 years experience in my profession. And I have a question about that. Are there any age limits for the application?
No age limits.
No age limits. Okay. No. Another question. I attended my study in the previous system, not the Bologna system. It's a 5-year last system. Is it problem? I think it's equal with the MSc.
It's not a problem.
Okay.
It's not a problem at all.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Please, no problem. Of course, just as a completion to this kind of question, of course, applications are considered on a one-by-one basis. Okay, this is most of the work that we do. And this is the reason for really going and trying to make the best out of the people's background.
Okay.
So we really go and have a look at what you really know, what is certified, especially.
Okay, thank you.
Paolo, we have a question in the chat. Maybe
Yes.
we can address this just quickly. So a question from Zishan, which is, what are the job prospects after this master program? Can you comment on the demand and the kind of areas?
Okay, okay. I want to, first of all, just one aspect that I'm happy about this master, that we started off quite well. So we are very young as a teaching program, but our first batch of students that got their degree actually got a job already after a few months after the graduation. Therefore, I'm pretty happy about it. Of course, the statistics is too limited. We had only a few students graduating. We are at the third year of our experience. So on this regard, I can only give a limited statistics, but the perspectives are not bad in general, because if I think that if you take this with the right level of enthusiasm, and especially if you really want to go deep into the topics that regard the raw materials, there is a sort of a huge perspective of future work that you cannot even foresee at the moment, because there is such a need for exploration, for studying, for substitution. And there is such a need for knowledge about raw materials that I can really see a good perspective, actually much better than my generation, in which we were applying for jobs in the mineral industry just for exploration, because we were in the linear economy perspective. We were not in the circular economy. We were just going there for exploration. So you'd either do like a geophysical job or a field-based job or a laboratory job. Now the perspectives are they are multiplied, because there are so many aspects that you can work on, that it's really exciting.
Thanks. I believe somebody was starting to talk when I asked the question. Would that person like to come back and ask their question?
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm from Kurdistan, Iraq. I'm civil engineer. My question is that I filled the application for coherent intake, but I couldn't complete it because I have some issue, and I sent you message about like converting my grade from GPA to Italian grade, something like this. I couldn't complete it before 30 June. So it remained uncompleted. After that, I wanted to complete it to establish with intake 4. I couldn't because I couldn't select that program. I tried to finish intake 3. Is there any wrong with my application?
Okay, this is the type of problems that are generated by probably a non-clear explanation in the website about what you have to, how you have to upload your documents and what you have to explain in your application. But in general, the international student office, they answer to these questions. In fact, we had about 55 applications that went through smoothly. So I think there is more a misunderstanding of what you have to upload and what you have to specifically say in your application that went wrong there in your case. But in general, it's the international student office that deals with that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So please contact them again and see what. Okay.
Okay. I see there. Thank you. Thanks so much.
I think we have another question in the chat.
Yeah, there is another question about the GPA too, so it's related to this. Yeah, him asked about the GPA. How's the chance to get admitted based on the GPA? So how maybe it's like the the level required on average.
Okay. The calculations of the GPAs and the how the degree to which this the cumulative grade is allowing the students to be admitted. This is it varies. We have to calculate because some cumulative GPAs are based on 4, others are based on 5. In general, we just as a whole, we accept people that are above 80–85%. Okay, we calculate that, we tend to normalize the numbers, and we get this kind of threshold. So cumulative GPA is lower than 80–85%. In general, not leading to acceptance, whereas those that are higher, they are accepted. However, here in the question by Ikeku, if I pronounce it well, there is a reference to the scholarships. If there is a scholarship coming with the admittance, here we have to make clear that this year we are not providing scholarships from the European Institute of Technology, and the only scholarships we provide are the Erasmus Plus exchange program that I mentioned specifically in the presentation. This will be a help for the international exchange that students will do going to Norway. This is the only scholarship. Additional scholarships can be applied for in the regional government here in Italy, in the area around Bologna. There is a program for international students, but that's dealt by the regional administration, not by the university. So in the university website, you find a link on this type of scholarships. But you have to deal with that yourself. Okay, so this is the information that I can provide. Yeah, Nikita is putting the link in the chat. Thanks, Nikita.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes. Yes, please.
Sir, I have a question that what are the criteria that you decided a student on, that like you have CGPA, research experience, and your background? What are those specific parameters that you decide a student on?
Say it again, please, because I'm not sure I understood what you are talking about. So you want to know
what are the selection parameters and that you see in a student?
Okay, the selection parameters are, first of all, how much background on, at least the bachelor level background you have on geology, mineralogy, and chemistry, all the classic background knowledge that would allow you to study a master program on raw materials. Okay, so if you do not have exams like chemistry, mineralogy, or for instance, geology, or geological fieldwork, or all this kind of things, mapping, all this background knowledge that allows you to acknowledge rocks in the field and in the lab. So if you something that would allow you to classify a rock and identify the minerals, at least understand how these rocks formed. From that, you start talking about mineral and raw materials that are useful for the economy. So you have to start with that. Another aspect that we evaluate is your background in entrepreneurship. What is your entrepreneurial attitude, or at least to which extent you are interested in that? Because as EIT-Labelled the program, we are contributing to this awareness. So we are interested in at least stimulate this aspect in your background. Okay. Of course, not everybody is a natural born entrepreneur, but we would like to stimulate that aspect in yourself as a future specialist of raw materials. And then another aspect is your openness to the world and the extent to which you are really interested in traveling internationally and being open and then be interested in being in contact with people that are different from you. This is another aspect. Okay, so because it's run on a one-to-one basis, this is at least the minimum we can say. But then, of course, each person is different, and we try to see to the best of our possibilities what they have as personal, I would say, talents. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have this question here. Will the tuition fees to be paid by students be determined by the admission committee? No, it's not admitted by that. You are supposed to present your family income evaluation. And of course, there will be this website link in which you can calculate your family income based on the data that you have from your home documentation. And then from that, they will tell you how much you have to pay, what will be your tuition fee. And then based on that, you will do that yourself. We are not involved into this. Actually, I don't know how much Nikita and how much Alessia paid for the tuition, okay? And I'm not even asking, because this is something that the offices from University of Bologna do. Maybe you, Alessia and Nikita, can tell something, can add something on this. What was your experience?
Yeah, sure. So the website that I linked is actually the regional institution that deals with all the applications. So where you can apply for both the scholarship and the tuition fee reduction. In case you get the scholarship, you actually don't pay any tuition fees. Yeah, and so that's where you do it. There's a guide, and as Paolo said, you have to prepare some documents about your financial situation, and don't mind, it's not that low. You don't have to be in a very bad financial situation to get some reductions or scholarships. So yeah.
Also, if I remember well, there's like a threshold, like 23,000 or 24,000. If your income level is under that number, you don't pay anything. So the tuition is totally free. So that is like the minimum threshold. Yes,
just to make sure, we are talking about a family income, okay, not a personal income. So this 23,000, 24,000 threshold Alessia was talking about is not your own personal income, but as it is calculated globally for the family. Okay, this is the concept.
I think it depends if you live with your family still,
or if you're yes. Yeah, so of course. In the case of Peter, probably he's not living as a senior geologist. He's probably not living with his parents.
That's true.
Maybe he's a parent himself, but in general, yeah, I don't know how this exactly is calculated, but it should be a family. I know because I calculate myself for my kids for paying school. Everything in Italy is based on this parameter. So we just do it on a regular basis each year.
Yeah, and it's not only about the job, but also your properties, like your house, how much money you have in your bank account. So it's not only your income from your job, it's many things to take into account in this calculation. So yeah.
Like your kindergarten, how much you pay for your kindergarten for your kid, it depends also on this family income. All these things depend on the family income. So it's a sort of parameter that is fundamentally calculated. We have a guy connected whose name is Nokia 6.2. What a cool name. Okay. More questions?
So maybe, oh yeah, carry on, Nikita.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to maybe ask myself some questions for the students if they don't have any for now. So the program, well, I will ask the question to myself and answer it, I guess. So the program usually lasts from October, as Paolo said, and the courses, if you follow the courses and pass exams on time, which is quite possible if you're attending, you would finish the exams more or less December, January, the next year. Then you will have 1 semester for your thesis and internships dedicated to that. So I think that's important to know.
Another thing that could be maybe important. Okay, what is the benefit of having an EIT-labeled master degree? Maybe I leave this answer to Ferdi.
Sure. Okay. So, I mean, I think maybe I'll also refer to Alessia and Nikita here because they're the ones who are actually experiencing this. But I think one important thing about the EIT-labeled master's programs is that you get this connection with the industry through Eit Raw Materials, which is a consortium of companies as well as universities and research institutes. So you can already through the Eit Raw Materials alumni and through some of the activities that we offer, start to make these connections and gain a better understanding of the sector as a whole, the raw materials sector as a whole in Europe, and maybe what your future place in that will be in terms of your career. Alessia or Nikita, do you want to add something about your experience with this and maybe some of the EIT-label activities you've been involved in?
Well, I was a part of Label Student Board, so I was actually organizing some of them. So the benefits of having an EIT-labeled master program is not just the certificate that you get at the end. EIT offers a lot of events, networking events with startups, with the industry, where you can, as Ferdi said, meet with the people, connect, and also look for opportunities. But also in general, in all the events that you can participate, obviously it all adds up onto your CV. And in my experience, it helps a lot with finding a job later on. I'm now currently interning at a company, and I think that's why they considered me, because of all the experiences that I've had during this program. So yeah, Alessia, if you have something to add.
Yeah, I can take my experience too with the internship, because I applied at the Geological Survey of Spain, and I think one of the reasons I got there for the internship is because there's already a collaboration between the institute and the EIT. So not with the University of Bologna, but actually with the EIT. So that was for sure one of the reasons they decided to take me in, and I had the opportunity to do my internship there. So yeah, absolutely. Many advantages, yeah.
But apart from the job, I think EIT also promotes entrepreneurship, as mentioned before. And so, for example, during the race, if you apply and get admitted, you actually have a chance to develop an idea, which you can then later on actually get a funding if it wins the race, let's say, and move it forward and actually start your own startup or a company. But obviously that depends on your motivation and effort.
Now, this is a good point, Nikita, that perhaps I didn't mention enough, that we really want to support from the EIT side. We really want to support students who have an entrepreneurial drive and they want to start their own business or become involved in a new business in their sector. So if anybody's interested in that career pathway of entrepreneurship, there's lots of support from Eit Raw Materials to help you make it happen. I think there's another question in the chat. So like other EIT Raw Materials Master's programs, does this program issue a double degree and the EIT Diploma certificate? Maybe you can comment on this.
Yes, regarding the double degree, double degrees go with the national laws. In this case, in the case of RaMES, goes in putting in line the Italian law and the Norwegian law. And this took a long time. And we are in the process of approaching a double degree diploma with the NTNU. But this took 3 years for NTNU because NTNU has a system, a Norwegian system, which is radically different from the Italian. And therefore, putting in line the two systems took several years. Now, we cannot offer at the moment this, but it will be for sure in the next couple of years, I reckon.
So to clarify for now, Paolo, the degree is awarded only
by the University of Bologna, yes, but not as a joint degree program. So for the academic year 22-23, it is still like at the beginning. But we have in place all the conditions for having in the future, for those who will come in the next years, not 22-23, but probably 23-24 and so on. We will have that.
And of course, John, in reply to your question, yes, all of the students receive the EIT-Labelled certificate on top of their degree diploma, yes.
Sorry, one question I pop up in my mind to Alessia and Nikita. So did you have any clear idea what direction you wanted to specialize when you start the university or this program?
Yeah,
nice
okay,
question, actually.
Yeah, it is actually, yeah. Well, I didn't have a clear direction. I knew I wanted to do more economic geology. That's why I chose here. And I wanted to actually experience different things, which this program actually allowed me. But to answer question shortly, no, clear path I haven't had. But now I think I'm starting to have it. So, yeah.
What about Alessia?
Yeah, as for me, it was like, I knew what I didn't want to do. So I didn't want to do like the mechanics, the rock mechanics, and I didn't want to do the petroleum geology. So RaMES for me was like a really new concept to study rocks, because in Italy it's not that common to have master's degree focused on the raw materials and mining geology especially. So for me it was a great opportunity, a great experience to dig in, and I'm happy I did it because I'm still studying what I was expecting to. So yes, no clear idea, but now I'm still happy with my choice for sure.
Thank you, because I'm the same situation, I think, so that's great.
Well, I think that's the benefit of EIT programs, is that they give you overview of a lot of parts of the value chain of different industries. So you're not constricted to one specific topic. So you're free to choose where you want to go. And you're also able to experience different things and to decide which part of that value chain do you like. So.
One thing that we could contribute into this discussion is how complicated it is as a foreign students, for instance, to come to Italy, come to Bologna, follow 2 semesters in Bologna, and then pick an airplane, go to Norway, get yourself organized there for a semester. How complicated is this from the perspective of a student? Maybe this is useful to know the chaps here.
Well, I'm not Italian, but at the moment when I was applying, I was actually living in Italy, so I didn't go through the international student experience. But apart from initial application for a visa and everything to come to Italy, all the rest would be similar. Well, I think if you take time, and if you do everything in advance, in time, it wouldn't be such an issue. I think students who experience problems here are ones who usually leave it to the last moment. And yeah, that would be my advice. But other than that, well, you need a visa to come to Italy, which is a separate process. And international students, I think, will have to have a visa to Norway, but that for me, it was quite a quick process, 1 week, and you get it. So I don't know if Alessia had some.
I'm aware of actually Brazilian students coming after your year who actually had several problems. So sometimes things are not smooth among you know, this the visa process, and this of course should be explained very well since the beginning, that students should really take care of the visa process immediately when they start. So they should be aware of the fact that they this traveling among different countries in Europe can lead to some, especially to non-Europeans, to some slowness in the process. So we set up actually an office in Bologna to smooth these operations. And after the third year of RaMES, we contributed to that. But things are not, I mean, bureaucracy can be very complicated, so things are not, should not be given for granted. So it's a sort of general suggestion that I give to foreign students in general.
Yeah, of course, if you're European students, there will be no problems at all, because you can travel around Europe just with your identity card. So it's totally smooth. No
Yes,
problem.
yes.
So, yeah.
And in fact, we, of course, this is EIT-labeled master programs are especially meant for Europeans, but because we are opened to the whole world, and we have students from all over the place, we are happy to having also South Americans, like we have in this year, in this academic year. So we had some issues there for the visas with the 2 Brazilians. Yeah.
Maybe just comment overall across all of the EIT-labeled master's programs, we have around 50% international students and 50% European students. Yes. On average. And in terms of the international students, they really are from every continent. So we have a good number of students from Africa, from South Asia particularly, but also from the Middle East and East Asia. From South America, I guess the only continent that is less represented is North America, and maybe Australia, but really we do have even some students from those areas as well. So really the whole world is represented on the EIT-labeled programs.
I think we had some new people join. Maybe they have some question to ask. Well, if not, maybe I can give some idea of budget. How much would you need to, let's say, live in Bologna for a year and go to Norway?
Good to know.
Yeah, exactly.
In general, students say, how much is a beer? Or something like that.
Well, I would say in Bologna for accommodation, typical budget is about 300 to 500 euros, depending if you get a shared, like a bed in a shared room or your own room. Food and groceries, I guess this is very dependent on the person, very subjective. But I don't know, maybe that's Alessia would be able to tell you more about it since she lives in the region.
Yeah, I think on a low budget, like usually a student is, you are able to stay like for food and groceries like under 100 euros, maybe 150 per month. Of course, in Norway, it's more expensive because the living costs are higher. So everything is a bit more expensive, but I've been living also for 4 months in Spain, and I can tell you that with 100 euros, you're fine for a month. So yeah, it's not that expensive. I mean, I can't speak for Italy because I live near Bologna, so I don't need to move to Bologna to the city to go to the university. But yeah, for Spain, it's quite budgety, but yeah.
Travel costs. What about that? If you travel around?
It really depends where, because in Norway, for example, there's not much social life. So those costs are at the lowest because you don't go outside for dinner and you don't go drinking a lot. But in Italy, I guess that's an expensive part of your life because you want to go out with your friend. There's a lot of social life. So
okay.
I think it really depends on the person you are.
Yeah.
And the traveling in terms of flights and trains, I think Europe is quite affordable if you travel between European countries. And well, for example, I was recently in Berlin, and in the summer they actually have a €9 ticket for all the public transport in Germany per month. And in Italy there are similar programs, more expensive, but yeah, if you want to travel, it's not that expensive.
There's a question from John about so he says that since the program is not going to give AFSA grant, I'm curious to sponsor the summer school. Who sponsored the summer school, winter, and other programs organized by the EIT? I just want to say that these are not connected with the AFSA grant, so these programs are still free to attend for all label students, including RaMES students. Yeah, so you also find that for the majority of the programs, you will get your travel costs covered up to a certain amount. And you'll also find the event and the accommodation, etc., has no cost for you.
Wow, it's already 5.
Yeah, somebody asked a question in the chat about how much is the application fee. Do you mean for if it's Bologna University? I think it's, I don't know, Paolo, do you remember exactly the...
Which fee?
Application
the tuition fee, the full tuition fee. The full tuition fee. The full tuition fee goes with the family income.
No, Paolo, sorry, the application fee. So when you apply for...
Oh, well, the first stage, I think it's around 100 euros. Yeah. It's a 100 euro sort of down payment that in case you are accepted, you don't have to pay, you pay the difference.
So Paolo, if you are not accepted, then this money, you don't get the money back, is that right? So,
no, you don't get the money back.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe we should wrap up now if there are no further questions, seeing as we have used the full hour and a little bit more. Thank you everybody who's joined, and we will circulate the presentation where you had all of the links to the people who registered for this, and we will also post a link to YouTube where you will be able to watch again if you wanted to. Oh, I see there is some more questions come in, so I don't know if Nikita, Alicia, Paolo, you still have time?
Sorry, I just want to say hello to you. So
thanks, Peter. Hello.
As I typed for. Thanks.
Yeah, I can quickly answer the Zishan, I think if I pronounce correctly, asks if he can do a part-time job to cover expenses.
Yes.
Yes, I think you're allowed to do up to 20 hours a week of part-time job. And I think there's some jobs that actually University of Bologna offers, but I think it's competitive application, but yes, you can. And if you have enough time, well, it depends on you, depends on each student. Some students take a lot of time to study, some others it's a bit easier. But I mean, if you don't go out too much, if you don't, then I think you will be able
maybe a key answer would be to which extent your part-time job would be helpful for covering the costs. It's probably.
Yeah, as for me, I've been working for my whole university time. So for 5 years, I have a job that is during evening and night. So yeah, it's totally, you can do it. Of course, you have to sacrifice maybe social life sometimes, because if you have to work during evening and nights, of course, you can go out with your friends, but if you need to cover the costs, that's of course something you have and you can do for sure.
Yes. Is there another question? Oh, thank you. Okay. Thank to you and for this opportunity to explain what RaMES is and how we run all this. Hope we were able to answer to your questions and raise some interest.
Okay, and we hope to see some of you, some of the people who are here in future at our EIT Raw Materials events. Thank you, John. And best of luck with your applications and your future studies, whatever they may be. And we hope that some of you will come and study on our programs and on RaMES. And we're looking forward to receiving your applications for those who haven't applied yet.
And if you have any other questions, me and Alessia are on the Unibody platform, so you can always reach out and ask away.
Yeah, maybe we can include the links to Alessia and Nikita's profiles when we send out the presentation. Then you'll see how you can chat to them individually.
Okay. Thank you very much then. Hello from
you.
Bologna.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.